welcome to Local Analog. Hello, dog. Welcome to another episode of Local Analog. Today we are at the Falk House. The Falk House is a historic house in Jackson, Mississippi, built in the 1950s and added on to in the 70s and 80s. This house is phenomenal. And today we're going to be shooting it on film, which is a challenge for me because this is what I actually do for a living, is I shoot a lot of commercial interior work. And so I usually use digital, but today we're going to challenge myself with using medium format camera and then also 35mm rangefinder camera for detail shots. So come along now and let's see if I can live up to the challenge. So again, this is a challenge for myself to get better at what I do. So I'm not bringing every single piece of equipment that I have, but I am limiting myself with basic tools. So for example, I'm using a Pentax 645 medium format camera. The lens is actually a 75mm lens that is actually made for the 6.7, but I have a lens adapter that makes it compatible. And so I think that this lens is easier to focus than the native 645 lens, and so that's why I'm using it, so I can be really sharp in my focusing. We're using good old trusty Portra 400 film. We're using Portra 160 in the 35mm, and this 35mm is a Voigtlander Bessa R2M. It's just a very simple camera. I'll probably use it for detail shots, probably not for the main shots unless it's just too wide. We're going to use a Sekonic light meter. There is a built-in light meter here, but since I'm using an adaptive lens, I don't want to trust it. I'm just going to use this just to be safe. I've got more film in this bag here. I've got batteries in this bag here for the 645. I've got an extra film canister holder thing. And that is it. So we're flying pretty simple for this shoot. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to load up all the film and we're going to start in this room right here. All right, here goes nothing. All right. Shoot this room. I think we'll start with this one. We're kind of going faster than I normally probably would, but I know the circumstances of, like, we don't have the widest angle lenses, and so we're kind of just shooting what we can. But I am starting to see areas where I can use my 35mm to grab those detail shots, so I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna use the meter in this thing. Handheld. It's good to always have a handheld if you can do it. The thing you gotta watch out for with these shots is exposure. You get some muddy shots if they're not exposed properly. 15. Just do 8. This is a tripod. Again, we're not doing what you would call real estate photography to where you have to shoot the room perfectly to the way it looks. We're doing interior photography or like editorial to where you shoot the room based on a creative or artistic interpretation of the room. And so it's not important to me that I shoot every little detail in this house because I'm not trying to sell the house, I'm trying to showcase it. So that's kind of, I think, the biggest difference between what this is versus what like real estate photography would serve. So. So we're gonna walk downstairs and we're gonna get potentially the craziest part of the house. Stay tuned. You get the message right there. Keep trying to use it. Okay. It smells like a sauna. Alright, will you hit the shutter carefully? The light was better this morning. Should have started in here. Normally, if I'm shooting interior stuff on digital, what I'm going to typically do is set an f-stop way higher than what I'm using now. So like normally I would use like f8 or f11 just so you have everything in the shot. But since we are using medium format, I'm going with a little shallower just so that we can get that medium format look. I want things to look like they have depth to them, and so that is a creative decision that I am making. Now it would just kind of depend on the circumstance, but sometimes you would want to actually use an f8 just so you get more things in focus. So I just shot this photo with the fiddle leaf in the foreground, and the fiddle is going to be out of focus. And I want that. I don't want it to be in focus because then it kind of competes with what's behind it. But there is that side of me that wants to get another shot of it in focus along with everything beside it. So I'm gonna do that just so we can see the difference there. This is gonna be a cool shot. Ready? Thank you for watching this video, and special thanks to John Hooks for letting us photograph his beautiful home. Today we challenged ourselves by shooting film and shooting with tighter focal lengths, and so we challenge ourselves to make ourselves better at the craft so that we can feel like we're growing and not being stagnant. So hopefully that's what this has done for me today, and I hope that you can do the same for yourself. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like this video, and we'll see you in the next one.